Notes for my 2018 reading of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, initially published in 1988. I'm filming this a few years later, on Thursday, 3 April 2025. I am Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, at least currently. And I talked through my book and reading notes for my 2018 reading of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, initially published in 1988. It's a fiction story about a boy from Andalusia, which is a region in Spain, so a boy from Spain who journeys to/through northern Africa in search of achieving his personal legend/finding treasure. So the boy is from Andalusia, a region in Spain for which the mineral Andalusite is named after. I did some one of my petrology classes when I was an undergrad in geology and geophysics at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I got assigned and or picked Andalusite for in-class kind of getting it pictured, and then we made a presentation. Each group had like two had Andalusite and chloritoid were my two minerals with me and my partner for the laboratory session. So I was visiting a friend in 2018. Was in the Hawaiian Islands doing some geology field work, and he had some books on his shelf in his bedroom. He's like, you can borrow any of these if you want. And so I borrowed this book, in The Art of War, if I think I'm recalling correctly, and then I mailed them back to him when I was done, because I was living in California at the time. And so this is a book that I put on hold through the library, and I was like, I'll do reading notes for my 2018 reading, and then I was like, I could just make the video since it won't be the same copy of the book anyway. So that's what I'm doing. And then I can go and cancel the hold. And so in the book, that's a bit about the copy that I used and where kind of choosing to read the book came from. So mineral work and coursework. And it's a book, and the guy he goes into northern Africa looking for these things and finds a woman he falls in love with and decides he wants to spend the rest of his life with, and kind of brushes with certain concepts of Islam, and kind of goes that way, but without the book being kind of forceful on him becoming a Muslim or choosing the Islamic path kind of thing. But his kind of mentor figure in the book turns out to be a character in the story called the Alchemist, who is, hundreds of years old and still youthful and stuff like that, which I've covered in my more recent notes video, which was from 2024. I read it again. And about a year ago, actually, April 2024, filming this April 2025. And so there's that, and it kind of does a good job of highlighting a desert setting, but also then kind of calm within a desert. And I was like, and that's still true. I think people still value the desert setting. And I was like, thinking of like Spain and stuff, and I was kind of like, my Kylian Mbappe is based in Spain, and I'm like, that's kind of far south. I'm not a desert person. None of my ancestry comes from there, and I'm like, just kind of okay. It's not necessarily an environment that I'm drawn to, though it'd be fun to like voyage through, but not necessarily. It's not like necessarily a settling down for me. And I was like, something that I find kind of interesting, and like sometimes people are turned off to a place because of the people of the place. And I was like, well, here's one to open it up a little bit. My Kylian Mbappe is French and I am not, and something analogous but not necessarily exactly the same is and he's French by like original people's French, okay, and I am not, and I'm not French via French either, France either. Iggy Azalea is original people's Australian, called the Aboriginals, and Kanye West is not. Okay, so racism can be an interesting thing. So anyway, those are notes from my 2018 reading of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, initially published in 1988.